All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's Arthur here. I am in beautiful Orange County right now, Laguna Hills specifically. I had no idea that there was a VA community clinic here in Orange County, but here we are. The flag is at half-mast to recognize the loss of 26 Americans, Texans, slaughtered by, apparently reports are saying that this was an embittered atheist who had been court-martialed for beating his wife. Oh my God, unbelievable. So here we are. This is the VA community clinic. I apologize, everybody, if it's just going to be me talking right now. I don't see any of the protesters right now. I don't know what's going on. So part of the reason that I'm here, one of the issues that I'm like really strung up about, I want to just get that beautiful flag as a background. One of the things I'm really strung out about is this push for healthcare for all or Medicare for all. It's all really nice sounding, but the problem is, you know, this is socialism at its worst. This is what Bernie Sanders had run for office on, claiming that there's going to be a way that we can just, tax, you know, whatever it is, the 1% or the 0.1%, and that we're going to be able to provide health care for everybody. And that's an absolute joke. Here I am in Laguna Hills right now. Yeah, hi, Rafi. How are you? You know, I'm just really getting tired of this, and it's time to start confronting these individuals who are absolutely convinced that the best way to ensure, you know, just trying to get health care or to improve the health care for individuals is to expand the role of the state, and that's an absolute joke. The VA is the quintessence of what single-payer health care is all about, and it's absolutely terrible. Our veterans get the worst care, I feel, in these government agencies, because there are no metrics, there are no safeguards for accountability or for efficiency. You have basically bureaucrats who are getting big money, you know. And I was just talking to another guy recently. It was about a week ago. And the guy had told me, it's like the Veterans Administration, they have no incentive to be efficient because bureaucracies want to get more money. They don't want to cut money. There's no engine for efficiency. There's no engine for an effective provisions for treatment. So it really bothers me. I think his name is Secretary Shulkin. He's the secretary for he's the head for the Department of Veterans Affairs. And the first statement that he made at the committee hearing was that he did not want to privatize the Veterans Administration. I think that's wrong. I think those are the steps we absolutely have to start taking. I believe that giving vouchers to our veterans is a lot more effective. Allowing them to go to private hospitals or to local community hospitals is more effective. This is, you know, I think that our veterans deserve better than, I think they deserve a lot better than government health care. I remember reading stories about Walter Reed, the medical center, and what ended up happening was, there were colonoscopy failures, there was a spread of disease, the infrastructure was crumbling terribly, there was no proper attention paid to these resources. So, you know, my interest is, if there's going to be a protest here at some point, I want to be able to talk to these individuals, and I want to be able to get their feedback on what's going on. Why they are committed or convinced that the answer to our healthcare problems is going to be to have more government, to expand this single-payer type of program for more people, and I think it's wrong. Our veterans deserve better than government-run healthcare. It's bad healthcare. It was one of the few good things I heard out of George W. Bush's mouth when he was running for re-election in 2004. Universal healthcare is not healthcare. It's bad healthcare. And that's just not going to work for me. So I'm here to see who's going to be here or what's going to be happening. It isn't quite 2 o'clock yet. It's supposed to be from 2 to 3, so I don't know what time it is right now. Here we are at the Laguna Hills Veterans Administration Community Clinic. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm gonna walk out to the parking lot. I'm going to see what's going on the side streets, see what's happening. Again, I'm in Laguna Hills. Something else that to me kind of strikes me as odd is that you have all of these hardcore leftists, you know, who want to protest here. I mean, and they live in luxury here. And this is all that's going on. Awesome. Okay, we got one guy with the shirt that says healthcare voter. Hey, what's going on? Yes. That's cool. I have no problem with that. You're here for the 2 to 3?
Yeah, you're my one Trump opponent, right? Coming in?
I'm probably the one and only.
Nice.
I don't mind. I want to be able to hear from people why they're pushing the Healthcare for All program. I understand that's what's being presented specifically.
Well, no, we're specifically promoting Protect Our Healthcare.
Okay, protect what's in place already with the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
Okay, my name's Arthur. What's your name?
Zane.
Zane?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Okay. So, is this like indivisible, or which is this? Is it?
It's grassroots groups.
It's just individuals here.
Individuals from this area.
Okay.
Constituents of Mimi Walters. And,
Oh, this is Mimi Walters' district. I thought it was Dana's. Okay.
No, Dana Robacher is up the coast from Dana Point.
Okay.
A little bit past Dana Point, so Laguna
Okay.
Beach onwards.
That's fine.
Yeah, and where are you from?
I'm from LA County.
LA County?
Torrance specifically, and I saw about this. And for me, I put my cards on the table,
Yeah.
and I'm willing to talk. I want to understand where people are coming from.
Yeah.
I'm very alarmed at the expansion of the state into healthcare.
But, I mean, currently that's not actually a threat to you, right?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it actually is.
Considering Republicans in their budget proposal cut $1.5 trillion from Medicare and Medicaid, and
Uh-huh.
another $500 billion from ACA.
Well, there was already
Right
a
now
cut when ACA was introduced. There were massive cuts to Medicare as part of it, and then it was counted twice as an accounting gimmick.
Well, and you see the same accounting gimmick tried here. Basically, they're going to cut their budget proposal. They're cutting $2 trillion in healthcare spending.
Okay.
And then we'll see if they actually follow up on that. But they have to do that in order to pass their tax cuts that are going to benefit almost entirely mega millionaires and billionaires.
Okay, so cutting Medicare benefits the rich. Why?
I think I just linked those together for you.
Not
the
quite.
way
I'm sorry.
The legislative process occurs, you can't pass a tax cut that increases the deficit. So in order to do that, they first cut in their budget proposal, which isn't law.
Okay.
It is law, but it's not appropriations.
Do you feel that using government money as a provision for individuals to go to get health care, do you think that's the most effective way?
Well, I would ask you this. We're at a VA clinic, the VA community clinic.
Yes.
Do you think it's appropriate for the government to provide health care?
I think they're doing a terrible job. That's why.
But do you think it's appropriate or do you think veterans should just pay for their own health care out of their own pocket? No,
you're seeing it. You're presenting a dichotomy. I don't think it has to be that way. I think that our veterans, because they served us, it is well within the right and the worthwhile for this country to do it. Right. But the problem is, we see Veterans Administration clinics and hospitals. They are grossly inefficient. They're incompetent.
I have to go talk to some people real quick.
Sure, I'll talk with you later.
Talk to them in there and look at it. I don't think you'll see gross incompetence. I think you'll see a relevant facility.
Okay. So you're going to see there's a lot of the talk about the millionaires and the billionaires. Okay, so we're waiting right here right now. It is a federal facility, so I am not going to be able to record in there. That's not a fight that I can fight right now. All right, we've got security today.
Every day.
There you go. You're protecting the VA or just the whole strip mall?
Just the VA.
Okay, and you're here because there's going to be a rally here, right?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay. You didn't know about it? Now you know.
Okay.
There's going to be something here going after Mimi Walters. This is technically a federal facility, correct?
No.
This is not a federal facility?
No.
Oh, is this a private clinic then, or?
Yeah, they leased this office here.
But it's the Veterans Administration. That's their logo, so that's part of the federal institution.
Part of the VA.
Okay.
I can't answer no questions. You're asking all these questions.
Yeah. Because I'm just trying to understand. Okay. I'm a veteran. Okay, so we've got Annie Budnick. Thank you for your service. I'm a veteran, and every VA across America has gotten so bad since Obama. I'm going to talk about that. That, I think, is a very important point. Okay, so I just met one guy who's supposed to be getting others to show up. Inside, it's a federal building. Yeah, so they have a pretty clear rule. There can be no recording. Let me see. Veterans benefits service. It's going to be closed from the 6th until the 20th. Okay, I'm seeing a sign right here right now. It's closing from the 6th until the 20th. That's not good. There we got the flag there. Community clinic. So Look at the hours of operation. It's only Monday through Friday, folks. What if you have a need on Saturday or Sunday? And it doesn't provide after-hours emergency care. And I want you to notice that the services office is going to be closed from the 6th to the 20th. So that's a big inconvenience. Flu shots are Tuesday and Thursday. So what you're seeing here, this is a federal office, folks. Yes, it is. So I can't record in there. No firearms allowed on the premises. Okay. So here we go. There are some of you who are watching right now. I imagine that you're veterans. I want you to tell me some stories, because I'll be able to pass them on to the people who are protesting out here, and we'll be able to hear from them. So for those of you who are just jumping in, hi Tiger Hendricks. I'm just reading the names that I see. There's going to be a rally, like a Medicare for All or a Protect Our Healthcare rally. These are, one guy talked to me, says this is grassroots, supposedly. And they're here, and they're also connected with going after Congresswoman Mimi Walters. She's a Republican. Apparently she represents this part of Laguna Hills. When I put in the zip code, I found when I put in the zip code, I found that there were two. Dan Rohrabacher apparently represents another part of that zip code. But anyway, they're going after right now. They're targeting Mimi Walters. I can't say that she's the strongest Republican in the shed, but we definitely wouldn't want a Democrat representing this area. I mean, this is an extremely ritzy area. Look at this. I'm here in Laguna Hills. The employee clinic, the VA clinic is right here. It's a federal property, folks. Annie Budnick Windhurst. She's a veteran. She has there's terrible things that have happened. You know, maybe if nothing changes, I can bring you on. Let me see if they're meeting anywhere. I can't seem to find anybody. There's supposed to be some kind of an event here. So I'm just going around the plaza right now. Okay. So Arthur could probably use your quotes of the story. So we got Barbara from Connecticut. Thanks for being on board. I appreciate it. If you're at the VA, you have to get a visitor's pass. Right. Are you guys going to have your rally here then? Or are you going to have it over there?
Oh, a little bit of both.
Okay, that's fine.
Everywhere.
Sounds good.
All across America.
It is a federal property, so just something to be aware of inside. It is a federal property. They have a security. They have a. I didn't go in because you can't record in a federal property. Yeah. So.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, absolutely. It says.
Oh, go away. I don't talk to people like you.
Why not?
You don't want America's been great.
No, I do. Absolutely. I can handle somebody disagreeing with me vehemently.
You know what?
I absolutely can.
Well, just change it to make Russia great again.
Why?
That's what he's done.
Excellent.
How has he made Russia great again?
Nobody was talking
Nobody.
about Russia until he started. Until he
We're
became
much
Russia.
older than you.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about Russia.
I never heard the word Russia.
We haven't been talking about Russia for the last 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 years.
Ever
10 years.
after we've seen how the DNC corrupted work. I mean, you saw what happened with Donna Brazil talking about the DNC corruption.
You don't even know if that's true.
About Donna Brazil
No, you don't
cheating.
even know. Trump is a Russian puppet.
How do you know?
I just know.
Give me an example or proof.
Paul Manafort.
What about him?
What about him dealing?
He's under indictment for tax evasion that deals with the previous issue.
Money laundering.
Hey, how's George Papadopoulos
And
doing?
money laundering.
Is he getting enough coffee?
He made a guilty plea, but it has nothing to do with Russia.
They're all going down. They're all walking
Okay.
out in the purple.
It sounds to me like were you a Bernie supporter?
I don't have to tell
You don't have to tell me, but I'm going to guess. How you doing, doctor? I'm going to guess that you are because you're talking about Medicare for
You know
all.
how you can make America great again?
Okay.
Have Trump impeached,
Okay.
possibly jailed.
Why should it be impeached?
Do you want to help
Just
your voter
because
shirt?
I don't like him.
Okay, you can't impeach somebody just because you don't like them.
I know him from New York. I'm from New
Oh,
York.
you're a friend of his? Or you were a friend of his?
He belongs on page 6 of the New York Post.
Okay.
Period.
You
Exclamation.
can't impeach somebody just because you don't like them. There's a high crime or a misdemeanor that has to have been committed.
I'm sick of
So
fucking hearing
tell
about
me.
Russia.
Be in jail for
I am
not
so
paying his
sick.
I don't talk about Russia. You have
But
healthcare
why
voter.
hasn't he- why hasn't
Do you have another shirt? I'll wear one. I don't
why
mind.
hasn't he gone
to jail for his taxes. He made.
You don't have to show your taxes. And he showed his 2005.
Yeah,
What's her
and he
name?
didn't pay for 20 years.
Rachel Maddow showed it.
Paid for 20 years.
How do you know that?
It was in the paper, and they showed
Not true.
his taxes. Didn't pay for 20 years. And,
Wrong.
And made $1 billion and lost nine. How could he be a good businessman when you lose $900 million? Does that make you a good businessman? What if you lost $900 million?
Lots of businesses
You would
go bankrupt.
be on the street.
Not true.
If you lost.
I have a friend of mine. She was a marketing executive. She had a business. She went bankrupt, but then she was able to get another business. A Bernie supporter. I just read about him. He was in Tennessee. I read it in a book called Rules for Revolutionaries. And this man, he started his own taco truck or his own, burger truck business. It set on fire. He had no insurance, but he was able to raise money through GoFundMe, and he was able to start another business.
But nobody's going to get $900 million on GoFundMe.
Actually, it's 900 million. People go bankrupt all the time, and they're able to get out of it. What's the problem?
What's the problem?
Lots of business owners go bankrupt.
He's gone bankrupt. People. Yeah.
You are educating me because you're telling me what you know.
Educators, and we can't
He's gone
educate
bankrupt
you.
quite a few times.
Well, that's pretty biased. That's very narrow-minded.
That's right.
There's a way to do
Okay, well, at least you admit
You
it.
don't pay your workers.
That's not true. He did.
They
What? Give
all
me.
came out and said that they weren't paid.
That's a lie.
Well, they all came out and said it. Why would they
So
lie
what?
about not being paid?
Because they want
Why would
attention.
anybody what? They want attention.
Sure, that's one part of it.
Good attention?
Yeah.
That's not good attention.
They're allowed to do that.
Possibly say you didn't pay them.
So we disagree. You think he's a bad business owner because he had
He's a bad
bankruptcies,
businessman.
or businessman, whatever. Okay, but he's president. So what do you say to that? So
Say there's a lot of
you
innocent
said
people
someone.
out there.
She had said to me he should be impeached. He should be impeached. Okay, but why? You don't impeach people because you don't like them. That's not the Constitution. There has to be a high crime or a misdemeanor. What's the high crime or misdemeanor?
Jail for money laundering. You don't have to.
Where's the evidence for this?
Yeah. Money laundering. Oh, definitely.
Okay, so you're talking about Manafort.
No, Trump. Decades.
Okay.
People have moved into Trump Tower
Okay.
under very suspicious terms. Getting,
Okay.
like single dollars. He's
oligarchs have
he's a
come
mob boss. Trump is a mob
Really?
boss.
A mob boss.
And this is like and that's how they're trying him. At least
That's what they're trying to get him on. You
Eric
think?
Schneiderman, the Attorney General,
tax
will
evasion.
get him.
Eric Schneiderman is not the Attorney General. It's Jeff Sessions, and he's recused himself.
No, of New York. And Jeff Sessions.
Attorney General. Okay.
Jeff Sessions will get his. It'll all be taken care of.
So what? So you're saying the high crime that Trump has committed is?
It's money laundering.
So it's money laundering. Okay, but as president, he's been money laundering.
You shouldn't.
Yes or no? Has he money laundered as president?
I don't think he hasn't done a damn thing since.
Okay, you just said he hasn't done anything,
hasn't
so
done
why should he be
anything positive.
impeached?
That would be positive.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Okay, we're back. I'm glad. So she said that.
How do I say this?
Am I- am
I
I
want
in
you to be
it?
here.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here, but you do have to give us like a bubble for us to assemble in, right?
Oh, I know. I'm not here to stop you.
Right.
I'm here to ask questions. Like she had said to me that Trump should be impeached, and I said why.
Yeah.
And when I had spoken to you, That's fine.
I want you to be here. What I'm
yeah,
just saying is like
I'm allowed to be here whether I get your permission or not.
Well, absolutely. Although this is private property, we got permission.
Okay.
You probably.
Well,
haven't.
this is a public event, and you're allowed to be here, and you are protesting a congresswoman too, correct?
Right, but the way assembly. I'm not going to go over the whole legal program.
Mm-hmm. You don't have
with you,
to.
But
That's fine.
Your right to assemble includes your right to exclude folks who have opposing messages to you.
That's not true.
It is.
So
That's why,
if
for
you want to show
example,
me the paperwork, I'll look at it.
go to Supreme Court
Okay,
Justice.
that's not my job.
Yeah.
So let's go back to what you were talking about.
But your
You
job
want to
is
support.
Actually, as a good citizen, your job is to follow.
Well, this is my job. I'm a reporter. I'm an activist. I'm a journalist. Thank you.
Reporter.
Yes, I am.
Scum. That's what we call them, right?
You call report. You think that the press is bad too?
No, I'm just following. You got the hat on, so.
I've never said that.
I'm just making a joke about you.
So I would say I've read the Huffington Post. I've read the New York Times. I read the Washington Post.
And you're a journalist for Breitbart?
I'm freelance.
Oh, you don't have you don't have permission to film it.
I don't need your permission, ma'am. It's a public place.
Well, no, you're on
scribe.
private property, though.
Okay, well then, too bad. It's a public forum. There's no presumption of privacy.
And that's on
Okay.
the forte, so why don't
So you had said he should be impeached, but she didn't give me a reason why. I'm not saying that he hasn't committed a crime. I'm not saying he hasn't committed a crime. If you can prove otherwise, that's fine. Now, you had said a point that millionaires and billionaires
I said
are
mega
getting.
millionaires.
I'm sorry?
Mega millionaires.
Mega millionaires, not billionaires.
Mega millionaires
And billionaires. Okay, that's fine. So they're going to save money. They're going to be saving money with the cuts to the budget. Is that correct?
They
On
will
Medicare
be
and Medicaid?
receiving So if you look at, you can go look at some independent analysis. I'm sure
That's fine.
you have access to the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So
I absolutely do.
You can look at how tax cuts are distributed towards, for different groups.
Tax cuts help everybody, don't they?
No. So, for example,
Okay.
one of the ways that this tax cut is being simplified is by removing a deduction that enables folks who
And I'm
have-
giving you space. Okay, so I'm trying to give you space.
And I'm just trying to...
Or if you want to come to me, I
I
can't
can
stop
come to
you.
as well. But
Okay, that's fine.
basically, if you spend over 10% of your income on out-of-pocket medical expenses because you have a special needs child,
Yeah.
or you have a chronic illness, or you have cancer, currently you can deduct those expenses from your taxes.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Right. And on average, the typical person who uses this provision is able to save about $10,000, which is really a lifeblood.
So you talk
for a lot
about
of
an
folks.
average.
I'm talking about an
Yeah,
average.
I agree.
Now that is going to be gone. So for folks
So
who
the,
have
the
special
current
needs,
tax,
children,
so I want to make sure I'm getting this for everybody's watching.
Yeah.
So the current tax proposal is going to remove that deduction.
Right.
Okay. So what if we counter that with, because you're removing all this government gobbledygook, which makes it harder for people to get. Let me finish,
Yeah.
and then I'll because I'm just giving you my response to it.
Go for it, yeah.
So we remove all this government gobbledygook. We get rid of this ridiculous individual mandate.
Yeah.
I'm calling it ridiculous because forcing somebody to buy something that they can't afford.
The
It's also a
tax-
violation of the
does
Commerce
tax
Clause.
cut
So I'm just giving you an
affect the
example.
individual mandate?
What I'm telling you is.
No, narrow our conversation. To the
No, remember, I
dialogue
didn't
we're
interrupt you.
having.
I'm just trying to finish this part. Getting rid of that individual mandate and then getting rid of the government mandates placed on businesses
Yeah.
will ensure that there are more choices driving down the cost of insurance.
Right.
There's also, President Trump issued an executive order,
Right.
which makes it easier to purchase health insurance across state lines.
Right.
So that creates more competition, driving down costs. Because I agree with you that you have crony insurance companies and the government colluding together, racking up profits while making it harder for you and me to have a good choice.
And so your
So that would bring down
your
costs, even if
solution-
there's no deduction.
And your solution
That's
to
what
that
I'm
is to
A response to the Medicare for All program?
No, I guess so. Yeah. So your overall healthcare solution is just to basically have folks buy healthcare services directly from their doctors, or if they're in the emergency room, they just have to pay whatever they are told they have to pay.
That would be one option.
So it's like I get in a
But
car
that would not be
accident,
the only one.
I get in a car accident, someone my head gets injured or something, and then I have to spend like $1 or $2 or $3 million or whatever, and just like
So this is my
there's
answer.
no
to-
insurance.
Wrong.
I just have to pay.
I don't have a problem with insurance. I always have to preface this because individuals are precious and special.
Right.
I would not doubt that.
Right.
Human beings are special and they're important.
Yeah.
And I would treat insurance like car insurance. I have car insurance now. I pay for the routine maintenance. Okay, the oil changes, the
So
tire
a
changes.
human body is the same as a car.
I just had to preface that. No, that's not the case. But it's the analogy. In the same way, that's what health insurance should be. For catastrophic injuries like a car accident, it kicks in.
Yeah.
But for routine maintenance, whether it's a health screening,
Yeah.
a checkup, etc.,
What about, like,
let me finish.
dialysis?
What about dialysis?
Yeah.
No, that's not. That's a result of an illness. So that's different.
So that's a catastrophic.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Absolutely. I have a friend of mine
So-
who has to go to
but it's
dialysis like 3
regular.
times a day.
It's a constant, regular thing. So it seems like maintenance, kind of. In
But
your
it's a
analogy.
response to a sickness. So, like I said, I
Who
wanted
goes
to be able to
the
learn
who
from you
goes to
guys.
the doctor just because they're like,
Oh,
I have
lots
nothing
of-
better to do today.
That's not the case. For example, if I want to get a job, I have to go. Some jobs require health screening. When I wanted to be a teacher, I had to get a health screening, for example. Somebody who is seeking to work in special services, for example, work in the federal government,
Yeah.
they have to do that as well.
Yeah.
So those are examples of where it takes place. Like I said,
So you don't want employers to not be able to mandate that people have to get health screenings in because that's an unnecessary expense for our
I'm
medical
not saying
system?
that. I think that's an opportunity. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
What I am saying, though, is if we want to make sure that the costs go down, because we are really upset
Yeah.
about the costs are just outrageous.
Yeah.
The way to solve that is allow for more choice, allow for more competition. I think we should get rid of the mandates, which have driven up the cost of insurance while shrinking the market.
Right.
That's what's happened. Insurance should be an option. If somebody could provide me a clear schedule of prices, I would be happy. You know what? I could choose a doctor. Right now, doctors are leaving the profession because all of these mandates and regulations have made it too costly and too difficult to serve in medical care. So that's, I've been talking to people who are gung-ho for single payer or for Medicare for All or for holding on to the Affordable Care Act, and I want to understand why. Because I've talked to many people, I've read stories, hundreds, tens of thousands of people who have lost their health insurance. They have seen their premiums double or triple. I have one friend of mine, I talk about his story. His insurance It has doubled. He pays like almost $2,000 a month now for himself, his wife, and his 2 children.
Right.
It's gotten worse.
Right.
And Obamacare, the promise was, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Many have not been able to do that.
Yeah.
If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. They haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
They said that you will save money,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen. Even the I said to that lady, I've read the Washington Post.
Hey, don't refer to her as
So
a lady. She could
doesn't
find
matter.
that.
There's lots of ladies. I'm allowed to do that. Thank you. So there's other things to be offended about. I think, for example, when a president makes a promise that we're going to lower the cost of health insurance and it doesn't happen, that's offensive to me. That's frustrating. There's lots of people across this country outraged by this. So
I think something else I wanted to talk about was Trump care.
I really like this. This is what I want to do. We're not going to agree on everything.
Yeah.
Healthcare, we're all healthcare voters. I would not, that's one of the reasons people voted for Trump. They wanted Obamacare gone. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things that Trump promised us was high quality, beautiful, affordable healthcare.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, he said for a 21-year-old male, the price of health insurance should be about $12 per year.
Oh, he said that? I didn't hear him say that, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, go check it out. New York Times, he says.
I have to tell you, I kind of have a low opinion of the New York Times, but I'll look into it. That's fine. I'll look into it. That's fine.
It's hard for them to lie about audio.
Seems like a small group, but it doesn't matter.
Well, you're a small group too, man.
Absolutely, I am. Everybody, take a look.
There he is.
I'm by myself, but Zane, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we're willing to talk 1, 2, 20. It doesn't matter. Okay, so Trump care, he said it would be $12. So it hasn't happened yet. You're upset about that?
Well, I'm saying, what I'm saying is, how can you criticize a program that attempts to lower the cost inflation rate for premiums?
Yes.
That has worked to put over 12 million more people, provide 12 more million people.
Can I have a shirt?
No, don't give him a shirt.
What?
No.
Well, I thought you guys were all about, spreading the wealth and sharing.
Why would you think that for?
Well, because I've seen from the buttons and I've seen from the movements that you guys are like Bernie supporters. I've seen a lot of them.
No.
Okay, who did you vote for? I'm wrong.
I voted for Hillary.
You did vote. Did you support Bernie in the primary?
In the California primary? No, I voted for Hillary.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you supported Hillary all the way?
Yeah.
Why is everybody leaving?
Oh, they're just, they're doing their own thing. They're
Wait a-
going their own way. I think the guy you wanted to follow went that way.
Well, he's gone that way, and the VA is that way, so I'll go this way. That's fine. Now, you were complaining about Trump care.
Yes.
What is it about Trump care that you don't like?
Well, for starters, it's non-existent at the moment, of course.
And that's Congress's bag. That's their problem.
Is it though?
Because we have
Historically,
Yeah.
don't you have presidents provide leadership?
Yeah, and he's done that by issuing a few executive orders. He
That's
issued
not
2.
legislative leadership. Legislative
Yes.
leadership is...
Okay, hold on. You said presidents giving leadership, so I mentioned that. Oh, you're talking about the leaders in Congress.
No, I'm saying that the president
He's doing
has
that.
his role of, as the leader of the nation.
Yes.
Typically,
Yes.
historically up until this presidency, is the persona that drives policy discussions.
He's part of it, but there's also the majority leader who I will tell you is doing a very poor job. I want him gone. I think Mitch McConnell is part of the swamp. We have seen that he did a very poor job. And I want to share.
Because he's failing because the president isn't providing him the
No.
support he needs to be successful?
You know what? I would agree with you. Yes, and we've seen other members of the Republican caucus. They ran on promises and they won on promises to repeal, and then they're changing their votes. That's wrong. So you're hearing from me. I go after both parties. I'm not just gonna. Republicans are always right. I'm interested in it being repealed. That's what I want.
I think something that you should think about is, why has this Congress been so
Unsuccessful?
Yeah. Why has it been so severely unsuccessful?
Because we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people.
They control the presidency. They control the majority of state legislators.
The reason why they've been,
State governors.
the reason we're seeing a lack of success.
Successful at all.
The reason we're seeing a lack of success is that there are too many interests in Washington who are still getting rich off of Obamacare. This was a huge, pun intended, this was a huge payout to insurance companies. Obama was part of that racket, and Trump has called it out. He's been very successful at calling that out. I hope you would agree with me. The swamp needs to be drained, don't you think? Do you think people should be lifers in government and making big money off with our tax dollars? I don't.
That's why I oppose Donald Trump, because that's exactly what he's doing.
No, he's not. His wealth and worth is actually diminished by $600 million. He's lost a lot of wealth. He's lost a lot of
his
it.
own sentiment, right?
No, not his. Other people have reported it.
Last time I checked, he says that.
How you doing, doctor?
Hey, all right. You don't intend to interrupt our little.
No, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to
I'm
him.
trying to keep him engaged so he can.
I have no interest in interrupting, but I want to hear answers.
No, it's fine if you want to observe.
I know I've met you before. Konigman. What's the medicine you practice?
Emergency.
Oh, wow. Okay. Jeez. That's a tough one. I was a volunteer at UCI Medical Center in Orange. I was in the emergency room. Pretty severe. I don't blame you. I think everybody should be a healthcare voter. So let me know when you have a chance, and I'll ask you about Trump care. So you said a 21-year-old male should only pay $12 a month. That was what Trump's promise was. And we talked about how we have a really dysfunctional...
$12
Per year? Per year. Okay, interesting. Okay. I want that too. I agree with you.
Do you want to hold one of these signs too?
Let's see. Let me see.
Are you a diabetic?
Let me see. I'm not a diabetic.
Yeah. Last words, tell Trump he has small hands.
Uh-huh. See, I don't agree with that. I think he has huge hands. So I can't wear that one.
What else?
See, I have a sense of humor.
Oh yeah. Did you see the other day?
Okay, go ahead.
When he went, oh my God, he really shouldn't use Trump shouldn't use his hands as much as he does.
Maybe is that the high crime or misdemeanor he should be impeached for?
Perjury. No.
Okay, so it's not money laundering, it's perjury.
Himself
How?
Every day.
Perjury is
all day long.
Perjury is a legitimate thing.
Yes.
Bill Clinton was tried for perjury.
Let's all get around Bill here.
Okay, gather around the doctor. But I am a healthcare voter.
Different color.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're all blue.
So everybody, they have 6 people here. 7. There was the other guy with the shirts. That makes it 8.
There's another guy.
Okay. Healthcare is a human right. Oh, I got to ask you about that one.
Come on over and hold it.
Brandon, we need you with a sign.
I need a shirt. Can I have a shirt? No? But you guys are supposed to be, you guys are like left of center. You're supposed to be about spreading the wealth, right? You feel antagonized?
He needs a shirt to wear to his office.
You are.
I love it. I like your sense of humor. I like you. You're funny. You know, in Santa Ana, they're clearing out the tents, by the way. I don't live there, no, but I like, you're funny.
I hope that doesn't happen here someday.
I'm not homeless, thank you. People get homeless because of healthcare, don't they? The healthcare costs. I agree with you.
Right, bankruptcy.
It's terrible. And but I submit to you, it's Obamacare that made it worse.
Oh, we got another.
No, actually, there are a lot of people who like Obamacare.
Who are they?
People who use it. The people
Are you using Obamacare?
The people who have.
Oh, you're not using it though? Okay. Oh, you're taking to take a photo. I'm sorry. Okay. You can record me too if you want. If. Okay.
Arthur,
Yes.
hey, Arthur, this guy's gonna talk for a moment.
Sure.
And
I'll-
I need you to be silent.
I want to listen to him. If you cheer and I want to cheer, is it okay?
We're not gonna cheer. We're all just gonna.
I'm not going to go home, but thanks for asking. Wow, I thought you guys were tolerant and inclusive. Now you're telling me to go home? Wow. Feel the love. I thought love trumps hate.
Home is where the heart is.
Okay, go ahead, doctor. I'm sorry. Don't interrupt him, okay? I really want to ask you about that. I really do. Did you finish? Were you able to take the photo? Okay. Okay, go ahead, doctor.
I thought you sleep.
He's security.
Let's go, Octavia.
Because he knew you.
We got signs over here for you.
He knew you were here. He knew you were coming. Or actually, he didn't know until I told him.
There's someone behind you we're talking to. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, guys,
She could only
you know,
go 30 miles.
these guys are like socialists, but they won't give me a shirt. I'm very sad. They won't give me a shirt. Where's the love? Especially because, who made those shirts? Who pays you guys? Because you guys said I'm homeless. Are you guys homeless? Oh, here she comes. Okay, great. Mimi's selfie killer.
Ooh, like it.
Okay, hold that up.
Okay, yeah, I want to see this because you guys. Someone said this wasn't about Mimi, but it is about Mimi. Okay.
Well, I said it's
She
about,
votes with
it's
Trump,
about
of
everything.
course.
It's about everything.
Okay. Oh yeah, she voted to repeal. She voted to repeal Obamacare. That's true.
No, She votes for the mentally ill to have guns.
You want me to introduce
votes
She
for
does?
tax
When did she do that?
Yes, in the beginning of the year.
Okay. So,
Okay, I'm gonna wait for the doctor here.
Hold on, I'm going to introduce Bill. So hi, my name is Zane Rice. We're organizer of the SoCal Healthcare Coalition. We're out here
SoCal
today to
Healthcare
celebrate
Coalition.
National Healthcare Voter Day of Action. We got Dr. Bill here, who's going to talk a little bit about the importance of healthcare.
Hello,
We're
Dr.
out in
Bill.
front of this VA community clinic, and so kind of our goal today is to talk about why healthcare is important to everyone, regardless if you're a civilian, a senior, a student, someone who's working age, or if you're a veteran. That healthcare is really important. So I'm going to turn it over to you,
Yep.
Bill.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Hi,
so
everyone.
much. No, thanks. As long as she can hear me.
Hey, everybody.
And you all can hear me. So, yeah, thanks, Zane, and the SoCal Healthcare Coalition, and thanks to all of you for being here today and organizing this rally. I'm Bill Huntington, Dr. Bill, practicing emergency room physician for over 30 years here in Orange County, California, and a political activist for longer than that. I'm here today because I'm concerned about the dire situation and direction that we're being taken in by the Trumppublicans, including Republican Representative Mimi Walters here in CD 45. And many establishment Democrats also in Congress as well, away from what every other
Establishment
civilized
Democrats.
country in the
They have
world
the same problem we do,
except us
folks.
has managed to have, and what we desperately need, universal health care, a system where all people get all the care, or what many of us now believe is only achievable via a single-payer, enhanced and improved Medicare for all system. In my 30-plus years,
He
of
supports
experience,
Senate Bill
I've seen
562.
people fall through the cracks and end up in my emergency room with preventable medical conditions and preventable deaths. I've seen patients reject potentially life-saving treatments and tests due to expected out-of-pocket expenses. So, and I've seen the pain and suffering and the immense burden that this cost shifting has placed on our communities by denying basic primary and preventive care in favor of waiting until things become a personal crisis. This leads me to the conclusion that we are either crazy or stupid to allow this situation to continue, or worse yet, to allow those in Congress to make things worse, much worse, with these proposed outrageous budget cuts.
They are
and
worse
so-called
already with
tax
Obamacare.
reform. Did you know that these obscene proposals will mean $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid, which will throw 15 million people off of insurance, and $470 billion in cuts in Medicare, impacting seniors and the disabled with less coverage? Did you know that this will continue non-renewal of funding for community health centers, like the one we're in front of today, and CHIPS, the Child Health Services Program? And did you know that those will scrap personal deductions for standard mortgage insurance
That's what Zane told me about.
for medical expenses that people have and need those deductions to pay for those expenses, and for interest on student loans to get education in medical fields and otherwise? Did you know that these proposals will eliminate subsidies for what are called orphan drugs? These are drugs that are used in very rare diseases and will result in people not getting medication that they need, or being charged even further exorbitant rates for those prescription drugs. Did you know that this will eliminate revenues that we now get from the extremely wealthy due to estate taxes? And did you know this will increase the strain on the VA system as more veterans seek care elsewhere or have to by any other means necessary? The ripple effect of this Robin Hood in reverse scheme to take money from the poor and working class just goes on and on. And with these proposed budget cuts and tax giveaways,
Do you guys have any questions? Post them. I might see if I can ask them.
as Scrooge saying bah humbug and further trying to decrease the surplus population. More and more of us, those who are not crazy, are getting unstupid and learning that in Canada, no one dies or goes bankrupt because they can't afford health care.
They just don't get it.
In Europe and Asia as well, their medical outcomes vastly outrank ours.
Because they don't count the
in terms of
deaths.
longevity, how long they get to live, and maternal and infant mortality. How many of our moms and babies die related to childbirth? How do they do it? In every other advanced country in the world, the people have risen up and demanded universal health care as a right, not a privilege. Where the people have taken control of this out-of-control, so-called free market, free-for-all system, and in our corporate-dominated political system, we've had a much steeper hill to climb, a much heavier political lift. But we're not afraid to take them on. We're here today to tell our friends and neighbors that these are the facts and invite everyone to join us, to reject their proposed and obscene plans to enrich themselves and their already rich friends and donors, to remove Mimi Walters from Congress and elect leaders with vision for taking care of our people, not neglecting them. Like Paul Wellstone used to say, we all do better when we all do better. Thank you, and onward.
So, which hospital do you work at?
Thank you.
Which hospital?
Thank you very much.
Ah, you're not taking any questions?
Let's get some photos up by so we can see the flag in the background.
Would you mind at least? Could you spell your? Someone asked. Could you spell your last name?
This isn't a press conference. Right?
Oh no, I'm allowed to ask questions though.
You're allowed to ask questions.
Yes, I am. Even if you don't want to answer them. So, doctor, do you work at the medical center or where?
We're just gonna take a view.
Could you? Do you get a lot of illegals in your emergency room?
Fine, still.
Do you get a lot of illegals? What if we stopped paying for illegals' health care? If we stopped paying for their health care, that would cut costs by at least 37%.
That is beautiful.
Okay. So everybody, he's wearing a button that says SB 562. That must have really made you mad when Rendon shelved that bill. Because the problem was, how were we going to pay for it? That was the problem. You mentioned Canada. Canada has terrible health care.
No, that's a myth.
I've talked to Canadians. They hate it. Okay, so you know Canadians who like it?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, what was the person's name, or where were they
I
from?
don't have to divulge their name. What are you going to drive
I'm
up
sorry,
to
do you
Canada?
mind moving out of the way?
Well, you guys are in the street too, so I'm allowed to be here.
But we're less than
If you would please
Okay.
move out of the way.
Canada has terrible health care. If you guys wanted to go to...
Can you just move like 3-5?
No, I'm allowed to be here. I'm not in her way.
Oh, and are you able to get the
That's a
photo
myth.
of
It's being hostile. Thank you.
No.
If you could just move a little
So-
bit out of the
Just a
way.
couple.
You got it? Okay.
We're asking.
I'm going to go back over here.
Thank you.
So Canadian healthcare is terrible healthcare. They run out of beds. They run out of doctors. Have you watched John Stossel's video? He actually went into a Canadian hospital
Private property.
and there were no beds available.
It's sandwich place. I can fit for everyone. So you guys want to go get some sandwiches?
They said something about going to a private place.
There's so many.
Doctor, if you're such a champion for single payer, would you at least educate me on why you're such a staunch supporter of it?
Thank you very much.
Canada has terrible health care. People die. I am telling you, you could go to... Okay,
Watch a movie called Fix It Health.
and I've looked at those too, sir. And I have Canadian friends. They hate the health care. The quality is absolutely terrible. Or would it... Zane, you were an outspoken person. Would you tell me... Would you please... You were so outspoken before, but now you guys won't tell me? How can you support a system where people don't even get health care at all? Somebody tell me, please. This is a doctor, and he's supposed to be a champion of universal health care, but he won't tell me or explain to me how he reconciles the massive failures in the Canadian healthcare system. Wow.
So hard. Well, I just wish we had more. But a couple veterans lined up pretty bad.
Why didn't you have anybody show up? That's a really good question.
You had 0 people.
Doesn't matter. This was your event, not mine. Veterans are dying on secret wait lists in the VA. The VA is the quintessence of single-payer health care. People are dying on secret wait lists. What do you think of that? Could somebody please here tell me how they can defend Canadian health care as absolutely the worst? Do you really believe that is what we need in this country? You don't want to tell me? Oh my God, look at this. Can I have a pen? Can I have a pen? No?
have a nice day.
Okay, I would like you to explain to me why you think Canadian healthcare is the best. You are a physician, and I think it's bad, it's malpractice for you to be pushing that. Okay, because we have veterans dying on secret wait lists in the VA. There is chronic discontent. The wait lists are at least 6 weeks long in a Canadian system. That's not good healthcare. Wow. Okay, folks, so I did the best I could. I try to understand where they're coming from. They don't have facts. They have emotions. They have feelings. As you could see, they had a really terrible turnout today. Maybe he's not a real doctor. You might be right. We've got the security guy here doing something, but you know, they don't have answers. They don't have facts. What they have are hollow talking points. They have no interest in really explaining to me what or why they're supporting this. Zane, you did a great job. I really want to hear your thoughts on why you think Canadian healthcare would be good. I'll wait. You can't tell me why you like Canadian healthcare?
What we advocated for today was healthcare for all.
Okay, but in Canada they don't have it. Single payer doesn't do that.
What?
Single payer doesn't give healthcare for all. In fact, there are people on wait lists at least 6 weeks. People die. Some people get on methadone just to manage the pain, but ultimately they die. And what about the Veterans Administration? I just told you, they have secret wait lists. That's what single payer is, man. That isn't healthcare for all. That's healthcare for few. And in Great Britain, which has its own single payer, they end up having a clear two-tiered system. A two-tiered system where the rich are able to get whatever they want, and the poor get wait lists, they get disease, and they get death. Single payer is not an answer. And the fact that you can't give me answers or speak with facts is extremely disturbing. But I was willing to talk to you, and Zane...
Man, for about 10 minutes.
You can't
have an interview that goes on for like a freaking hour.
But you are standing here advocating for a system that's going to kill millions of people. How can you justify that? They laugh? You think it's funny? You think it's funny that veterans die on secret wait lists? Oh my God. You know, and I just learned about the Canadian healthcare system. What I learned is that, you know, Americans want to go there and take advantage of it. Guess what? They have to wait because they're immigrants. Immigrants don't get to go onto the Canadian healthcare system. They don't allow illegals to go onto healthcare the way that they've done in California. Jeez. I did the best I could, everybody. But you can see that they were not committed to any discussion of facts. They were not committed to any discussion about issues. This is really frustrating. How dare they stand in front of a Veterans Administration and claim that you know, that they want to advocate for the single payer. This is a joke. This is an outrageous fraud. It really upsets me because we're talking about people's lives here. And there's no excuse for that. That's wrong. And we just can't have that. Unbelievable. All right, folks. Well, I did the best I could. You'll notice I was as civil as I could be. You'll notice how they don't have facts. They don't have arguments. Facts don't care about your feelings. And this whole single payer racket is about feelings. And it's time for us to start confronting it. All right, folks, I gotta go. Talk to you soon.